He wanted to transform. He wanted to change. He wanted to make something happen that was really wonderful and terrific.
The foundation was really his instrument. It was a personification of his personality.
Russ did things which were unbelievably unpopular. He didn't care.
He knew that his philanthropy should differ in that way and really focus his dollars on the things where he could really make a significant difference.
And if what we were doing wasn't going or have the potential for making a difference, it wasn't a project that he would be excited about.
The uniqueness of the Berrie Foundation is that it genuinely makes an impact in people's lives.
From the very beginning, the Russ Berrie Foundation was not like any other foundation, because Russ Berrie was not like any other successful business entrepreneur.
The guy had just a phenomenal sense of a feel, a touch of what was working and what wasn't working. And he supported something that was working more aggressively, and if it wasn't working and he couldn't correct it, he got out of it.
In some enterprises there was a business plan, but most of the time he bought into the person, he bought into the mission, and he had an instinct for people, just like he had an instinct for product that made his picks above average.
For a number of years, he didn't even support a specific program at the Hartman Institute. There was a vision. He shared the vision of the Institute. He believed in my father, he believed in me, and he believed in the vision.
It's not a matter of just giving us a check. It's a matter of pushing us, of making sure we are maxing out in terms of our potential, leverage, and ability to solicit other foundations.
It's a partnership, so they feel we're just as invested in it as they are, and that we understand what it needs to make it work, and that we're there for them and we believe in them, and that we're just as committed to its success.
The Russ Berrie Foundation learned very quickly that the way you measure the success of philanthropic activity is very different from the way you measure the success of traditional business enterprises.
When we gave major gifts, there were benchmarks.
And you don't measure that in how many dollars you gave away. You have to measure it in how you have touched people's lives and how creative you've been about it, and how you've leveraged this to get the most bang for the buck.
Russ had diabetes. He would have been supportive of a healthcare related cause that would do something good for diabetics, but the due diligence and the initiative and the proactive approach taken by our trustees to go out and look for something to prospect, that entrepreneurial spirit, was something that made Russ and made his trustees consider the foundation something that was more than just giving out of compassion.
He changed the way Columbia does business. And very often the clinical aspects of actually treating patients are physically and emotionally separate from the research teams, the MDs and the PhDs who spend their days and nights in a laboratory doing experiments. What he caused Columbia to do was to bring these two things together in a way that made both of them better. He established before its time an interdisciplinary team focused on diabetes. We would like to replicate that in cancer research, in brain research, and in many other areas of medicine. We put together a proposal that has Columbia reaching out to other institutions in this country and abroad, and also has us recruiting new people to the Berrie Center to develop this expertise in stem cell biology as applied to diabetes. It changed direction at the medical school, and it caused us to establish collaborations with people at other universities, which would not have happened without Russ's stimulus.
The Institute has a vision that the Jewish world needs to be pluralistic, needs to be passionate pluralists. That's a vision. That vision excited Russ. And the process of him getting excited till the moment of funding was immediate. In other words, it was, what are you about? I believe that you're a force for good. It's very simple. Russ saw himself, my job in life is to help people.
The work that the investigative project has done has genuinely made a difference in protecting this country's national security, protecting the lives of Americans, protecting the state of Israel. There's no other institution that's done this. There's no other institution that has the ability to have the same amount of influence with the government and the media. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't be here.
All this experience has led to a number of very valuable and practical lessons learned that all foundations, regardless of their size and resources, can find helpful.
People who succeed in philanthropic giving have to have a very good focus and be able to stay within the parameters of something that they believe in, what they want to do.
Look for a need, understand what the need is, research it so you do it right, and then try to do something that'll have an impact that's going to last.
Look at the organization that you're thinking of giving or investing in from a philanthropic perspective. Look at the leadership. See whether, in fact, they're the kind of people you want to invest in.
Look at the unconventional to make sure that the foundation is not replicating what others are doing, but is filling a void that is not being filled, that are taking an initiative that others aren't taking.
By focusing on one thing and associating your name with it, you are bringing prestige to it, you're bringing resources, and you're bringing other people's attention to it.
Looking ahead, the trustees of the Russ Berrie Foundation, without daily access to Russ Berrie, must deal with a number of challenges.
Russ was a realist. He felt that time dilutes the purpose that a foundation would operate on. And he felt the best way to focus his intent was really to have a short time frame, to be able to say, how can we do the most? How can we bring the most value to what we do in a realistic time frame, not 1,000 years, not 100 years, in 40 years or less.
Here's a man who worked all of his life as hard as he could to build an enterprise, not to make money, to build an enterprise. And he gave almost all of that money to a foundation to do good. What greater satisfaction can you have in life and afterlife? He did it all.
He wasn't interested in talking about all the theories and all. He wanted to know what was the cash value of an idea. In other words, how do you translate that problem into something that would work?
Russ was a student of people. He was a student of life, an immense pragmatist with a huge vision, sort of a combination, which is rare. A lot of people have the vision, but have no pragmatic capacity to execute. A lot of people can execute, but don't have the vision. Russ had both.
You know, we've been fortunate that we could write a check, but it goes so much beyond that, and that's where the community has been so great for so many years. The feeling of being part of a family, and that's what we have here. Everybody being supportive of everyone else and understanding the big picture. And that's something that we hope will be able to be transmitted down to each generation as we go forward.